Hi! Most of us heard or read about how much advanced ChatGPT is. This caused a lot of panic around people that feel they will lose their job to the artificial intelligence. I'm here to help you pivot and use the AI rather than be replaced by it. These are two most important words that you will hear this year. Prompt engineering is a niche phrase right now, but I promise you this is going to be big. Prompt engineering is essentially how to talk to an AI to get it to do what you want. The better you can talk to it, the better it will help you to get a competitive advantage over everyone else and it will take over. AI is essentially a bunch of smart algorithms that think like a human being. Technically, they don't think, but that's the simplest way to conceptualize this. It can write, it can code, summarize articles into single sentences, solve math problems, chess problems. It can even draw. It's already invading industries like sales, legal, and winning art competitions. 1,000 word essay does it in seconds. Official business email, easy. Cyberpunk samurai business logos, simple. That's why you might think that AI is a threat. It's better than you. So why wouldn't it take your job? Well, the truth is actually the opposite. Learning prompting turns AI into the greatest ally you will ever have. It can help you to do everything you already do, but faster. And the better you get at prompting, the larger the gap between you and someone not even using AI. You're better, faster, more efficient at your work, and 10x in your income and your productivity. And here's the thing, the faster you learn how to utilize this, the further ahead of competition you will be. So you need to do this right now. Most people don't know this is important yet, which makes it an insane opportunity for you. This course is the essential step to get you the proper skills to deal with ChatGPT in a more effective way. Enroll this course and ride this wave with me.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Ultimate ChatGPT course. I'm here to guide you through this exciting course. If you're someone who's interested in AI and its applications, then this course is perfect for you. Here you'll learn everything you need to know about ChatGPT, the state-of-the-art language model developed by OpenAI. You'll get a complete overview of ChatGPT and how to use it effectively. You'll learn how to write effective prompts, understand the interface, and get a good understanding of its use cases. By the end of this course, you'll be able to communicate effectively using ChatGPT, elevate your career, and even use it for coding. Whether you're a student, a professional, or just someone who's curious about AI, this course is for you. So why learn from me? I've successfully taught hundreds of thousands of students from all over the world. My goal is to make this course as fun and engaging as possible while ensuring you leave with a thorough understanding of ChatGPT. ChatGPT, which is short for Chat Generative Pre-trained Transformer, is a large language model developed by OpenAI. It is trained on a large corpus of text data and uses deep learning algorithms to generate text that is similar to the text in its training data. ChatGPT can be used for a variety of tasks, including text completion, text generation, answering questions, and a whole lot more. Frankly, ChatGPT has taken the world by storm. And because of the explosive growth and interest it has generated, that might be the reason that you are here today. I'm glad you've elected to invest your time with me, and I look forward to sharing the powers of ChatGPT and what it can do for you. This course is divided into 4 primary modules, each designed to build on the knowledge you've acquired in the previous module. These modules are Introduction to ChatGPT, using ChatGPT to communicate effectively, using ChatGPT to elevate your career, and using ChatGPT for coding. The learning objective of this first module is to get you started with ChatGPT and get you oriented with the interface, understand how to write effective prompts, and have a good overview of the use cases of ChatGPT. So, are you ready to take your knowledge of AI to the next level? Let's get started. Welcome back. In this video, we'll be showing you how to set up a free ChatGPT account. and get started with using this amazing technology. So to sign up for a free ChatGPT account, you can go to OpenAI website at openai.com. Let me show you how to do that on my screen here. So I'm on the openai.com website. You'll see a link at the top here that says try. And then let me go ahead and click that. And it may be over capacity. I was able to successfully click it earlier. And so let's just see if it'll let me through by selecting to sign up. Now, if you already have an account, of course you would just click log in. But to sign up, just click sign up. And then you'll want to enter your email address. So I'll go ahead and enter that now. Now I'll click continue. And then you'll want to set a password for your new account. And as you type, it'll give you the requirements for the password. And then once you've entered in your desired password, if it meets the requirements, you'll see the check mark here, and then you just click continue. And so then there's a standby while it checks your browser. And then we will see a message that you need to verify your email. And so then we will return back to the slides now, and we'll talk through the rest of this process here. Okay, so whenever you get that email, then you can go in and verify that, and you'll need to verify in your email. And click a link in that email to verify your email address for your free ChatGPT account. Then once you've verified your email, you can enter your first and last name, your phone number, and receive a code to verify your phone number. Now one thing you'll notice when you first log into ChatGPT is that there may be warnings about high demand or capacity limitations, just like we just saw earlier just a moment ago. So in the next video, we will be diving into the interface and exploring some of the features of ChatGPT. Welcome back. In this video, we'll be taking a tour of the ChatGPT user interface and exploring its capabilities and its limitations. So let's first take a look at the interface for ChatGPT, and I'm gonna share my screen with you. So on the ChatGPT screen, you will notice that there's sections for examples, capabilities, and limitations. So I'm gonna get you familiar with that, as well as the things along the left hand side here. Now these examples are intended for you to click on, and then you can click send to see a response to your first prompt here. And this is explain quantum computing in simple terms. Now it may take a moment for ChatGPT to respond, depending on the load that it's under at the current time. But then you'll know it's done generating once it generates a title in the chat sidebar here. And that'll happen here momentarily. And then you can always edit that if you so desire by clicking the pencil icon. And then I'll just make a quick edit there, and then you can click the check mark to confirm your change. And this way you have options of clearing a chat by either clicking the delete icon, or as well you can clear your conversations by clicking the confirm clear conversations link here on the left. Okay, now you can start a new chat by clicking new chat here on the top left, and then you could go through and select another example. I'm gonna select the second one for getting a creative idea for a 10-year-old birthday, and click send, and this one will give you a list of possibilities here generally. You never know exactly what the answer is going to be from ChatGPT, but usually this is one that I've seen and experienced that can be quite verbose. And so if you just change your mind, if you're wanting to go ahead and stop the response, then you can always click stop generating, and that will bring you back to where you can start entering in additional prompts as well. And so now I'm going to click new chat to start another chat here, potentially under the examples that would be how do I make an HTTP request in JavaScript. And so I'll go ahead and click go on that one just so that we can start to fill in more in our history here along the sidebar. And you notice that this updates as it's generating the next response as well. And then you'll see an example of some code that ChatGPT is generating. And so if you decide once again to stop generating, you can always do so. And then let me go ahead and go back to the home screen by clicking new chat. And so we've kind of explored the example side. I also want to show you that you can enter into light mode or dark mode by clicking and toggling between the two here on the interface. This would be what is known as light mode, and then this would be dark mode, so depending on which one you select, the text of this link will toggle back and forth as well. So now other things on the ChatGPT home screen would be the capabilities section. And it's important to realize what some of the capabilities of this amazing tool are, such as it remembers what a user said earlier in the conversation. So the reason that that's important is because we can revisit prior conversations or prior chats, and it will remember where we left off. And we could then do further follow-up prompts and questions, and that sort of technique is often referred to as prompt design or prompt engineering as well, where you can ask follow-up questions. Now let me click new chat and go back here. Another capabilities is, in addition to allowing users to provide follow-up corrections and questions, would be to also bear in mind that ChatGPT is trained to decline inappropriate requests as well. And then finally, there are several limitations to bear in mind when it comes to ChatGPT. It may occasionally generate incorrect information, so you may encounter that, and you can always provide feedback as well if you do encounter incorrect information. And it may occasionally produce harmful instructions or biased content. And then finally, it has limited knowledge of the world and its events sometime in 2021. So do bear in mind those limitations on ChatGPT found here, listed on the home screen as well. And now let me return back to my slides as we round out this lesson. Alright, so in the next video, we'll be discussing the various applications of ChatGPT and how you can use it in your projects. Welcome back. In this video, we're going to challenge you to get hands-on with ChatGPT and create your own memorable and unique prompt. First, let's go over what a prompt or a query is in ChatGPT. Now, a prompt or a query is a text input that you send to the ChatGPT model, and the model will generate a response based on that input. Now let's get started with creating your own prompt, and we want to encourage you to think outside the box and make your prompt memorable and unique. So imagine a scenario where you use ChatGPT to gather information about the town in which you were born and any significant events that took place around the time of your birth. Think about your hometown in the year you were born and what do you want to know about the town and the events that took place around that time. Maybe you want to know about the major events that shaped the town, the most popular businesses or the notable people who live there. Once you have an idea of what you want to know, go ahead and create your prompt in your ChatGPT account. Remember to follow along with the demo in your own account for a more hands-on experience that applies to you. For example, let me share my screen with you. Alright, so when entering a prompt here in the box and click send, and I've prompted to tell me more about New York City in 1985 and what were notable events that occurred during that time. Now, as ChatGPT generates a response, I must confess I was not born in 1985, also was not born in New York City. And so as ChatGPT generates a response, it's mentioning that the city was in a financial crisis. There's a crack cocaine epidemic as well as a Christmas Day bombing of LaGuardia Airport. And that was actually on December 27th. So this is around the time of Christmas of that year, but that's still inside the year that we asked for. And then as well, the release of Live Aid on July 13, 1985 and a couple more here related to the Brooklyn Bridge and the Central Park Jogger. You notice as well that we've got our completion of the text here for the title of that chat. Alright, so coming back here, as far as other things that you can do inside ChatGPT is that you can experiment with different inputs and see what kind of response you get. You may be wondering at this point, how did they do that? In the next video, we will attempt to answer that question with an overview of how ChatGPT works. Welcome back. In this video, we're going to answer the question, how did they do that, and explore how ChatGPT works. ChatGPT is a language model developed by OpenAI that uses artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms to generate human-like responses to text inputs. The model has been trained on a massive data set of texts and has learned to generate responses that are similar to how humans would respond in a given context. Artificial intelligence refers to the development of computer systems that can perform tasks that normally require human intelligence, such as recognizing patterns, making decisions, and solving problems. Now, machine learning, on the other hand, is a type of artificial intelligence that allows a computer to learn from data without being explicitly programmed. In other words, the computer is able to identify patterns in the data and use that information to make predictions about future data. Before we dive into how ChatGPT works, let's also briefly talk about tokenization. Tokenization is the process of converting text into individual units or tokens which can be processed by the machine learning algorithms. Tokens can be words, phrases, or other units of meaning, and they play a crucial role in the processing of text by language models like ChatGPT. Now let's dive into how ChatGPT works. The model is trained using a machine learning algorithm called the transformer, which is a type of neural network. The transformer network is designed to process sequential data, such as text, and it has revolutionized the field of natural language processing. Now I want to share my screen and show you the documentation of ChatGPT, and for further reference you can find the documentation at platform.openai.com. And from there you can explore the documentation tab by clicking on it, and that will take you to an overview of ChatGPT, and you can find other information around key concepts, next steps, and more. Welcome back. Now we're going to dive into the world of prompt design and engineering and show you how to get the most out of ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a powerful language model, but in order to get the best results, it's important to craft effective prompts that are clear, concise, and provide enough context for ChatGPT to generate accurate responses. So here are some key tips and strategies for you to keep in mind. First of all, you want to be clear and specific. You want to clearly state the task or question that you want ChatGPT to answer or complete. You also want to be sure to provide context. If your prompt is part of a larger conversation or scenario, provide enough context so that ChatGPT can understand the situation that you're asking it to address. You also want to keep it concise. Long and complex prompts can be difficult for ChatGPT to understand, so try to keep them as concise as possible. Also, be sure to use proper grammar and punctuation. ChatGPT is a language model, so it is important to use proper grammar and punctuation in your prompts to ensure that ChatGPT generates accurate responses. You will also want to try to avoid leading or biasing the model by providing too much information on the topic or constraining the possibilities of the answer it will give back to you. And then finally, you'll also want to be sure and test and refine by testing your prompt with ChatGPT and refining it as needed to get the best results. And to take your prompt design and engineering to the next level, I recommend the concept of a prompt wheel. This prompt wheel approach is inspired by two things: my last name of Wheeler and the stages of continual improvement, which are plan, do, check, and then act. These are actually well-established stages commonly referred to as the PDCA cycle. Relating these stages to prompt design and ChatGPT would translate to the following scenario of starting with an initial prompt and then follow up by a response from ChatGPT, further refinement and further context, and then follow up response, and so on. By using this prompt wheel concept in taking your prompt through several revolutions, you can continually refine and improve the quality of your prompts over time, resulting in more fully enriched and helpful conversations between yourself and ChatGPT. And remember that you can always revisit past chats and pick up where you left off in the history on the left of the screen. This allows for further reflection and time to improve the conversation and your prompting skills. Welcome back. In this video we're going to be talking about an all too common issue with ChatGPT, and that's being overcapacity. If you've used ChatGPT before, you may have encountered the message ChatGPT is temporarily overcapacity, or something to the effect of ChatGPT being down, perhaps for maintenance. But don't worry, there's a workaround that I want to share with you, and that would be the ChatGPT API playground. It's a platform that allows you to continue using ChatGPT even when it's over capacity or down. The playground is a demo environment that allows you to explore different models and settings, and it provides a way to continue using ChatGPT even when the main service is unavailable. The OpenAI Playground is a free platform where developers and users can experiment with the capabilities of the ChatGPT language model. When you sign up for the Playground, you are given a certain amount of free credit that you can use to prompt ChatGPT and see what it can do. However, it's important to note that this free credit is limited, and once you've used it up, you'll need to set up a payment method in order to continue using the Playground. You can also fortunately view your current usage and billing information at any time to keep track of where you're at with your spending. It's also worth mentioning that the cost of using the ChatGPT API can vary based on the size of the model you're using as well as the number of tokens you're requesting. There are 4 different models available in the API, each with its own pricing structure, so it's important to choose the model that best fits your needs and budget. The ChatGPT API Playground is a great tool for anyone who wants to explore the capabilities of the language model and see what it can do. And be sure to keep an eye on your free credit and set up a payment method if you need to continue using the platform. So let's dive into this platform and this API, and I want to share my screen with you. And so here you see I'm in platform.openai.com on the Playground. And you've got your prompt area here which you can submit, and I've preloaded a prompt here about tell me the benefits of the Chat API Playground. But before I click submit down here on the bottom, I want to be sure and address the different models that are available here. And we'll talk more about the models in the next lesson, and it gives you an overview of each as well. As you hover over, you notice that there's the text DaVinci at the time of this recording 003. Expect these to be updated over time, but you can always review more details around its strengths and weaknesses as well as Curie, Babbage and IDA. Okay, so depending on which model you select, you will have different potential responses, and then as well there's a temperature setting. This temperature setting will control the randomness of your responses. You may get something that's a little more broad in nature or unexpected as you raise the temperature, and you notice you can slide that over, or it'll be more conservative or restrictive if you have a lower temperature as well. I'm going to set this to the default that we opened up with, that the Playground starts with, as far as it being DaVinci in 07. And then I'll go ahead and click submit here. And then here we are. Even though ChatGPT is currently over capacity, we are effectively working in the API Playground. So this gives you kind of a hack for being able to use ChatGPT. And so you notice here this is given quite an extensive list of benefits of the ChatGPT Playground. Let's change the temperature and lower that some, and then let's see what sort of response we get. So let me refresh or regenerate. So I'm going to click the regenerate button here on the bottom. And now we're with a lower temperature here to compare. Still being pretty verbose actually. And so for a better demo probably would be to change the model to something that is more cheap to use. The DaVinci model is the most expensive as well as far as the number of tokens, so bear that in mind. And the ADA model would be considered more affordable. So let's try that again by clicking regenerate here. That's really fast. Alright, so I encourage you to try the different models available to you in the temperature settings in the Playground. I think that can really help you to further refine what you're prompting with ChatGPT. And just keeping in mind that this can be available to you whenever ChatGPT is not available. That way you can go into the Playground. So in the next lesson we're going to look at the different models and explore those further. Welcome back. In this video we're going to be talking about the different language models available in ChatGPT. There are 4 main models, which would be Ada, Babbage, Curie and DaVinci. Let's start with Ada. Ada is a low-cost model that is designed for simple use cases such as generating task completions or providing short answers to questions. Ada would be a great option for those who are just getting started with ChatGPT or have limited needs. Next, we have Babbage. Babbage is a more advanced model that is designed for more complex use cases such as generating longer responses or writing complete paragraphs. Babbage is a good choice for those who need more advanced capabilities and are willing to pay a higher price. Curie is the third model and is designed for high-quality text generation. Curie is ideal for use cases where the quality of the generated text is very important, such as writing articles or generating creative content. And finally, we have the DaVinci model. DaVinci is the most advanced and expensive model, and it is designed for the most demanding use cases out of ChatGPT. DaVinci is ideal for use cases where the highest quality text generation is required, such as writing novels or creating complex reports. The DaVinci model is named after Leonardo da Vinci, the famous artist and inventor of the Renaissance period. Now, he famously once wrote that, "For once you have tasted flight, you'll walk the earth with your eyes turned skywards, for there you have been and there you'll long to return." This quote reflects Leonardo's fascination and wonder for the concept of flight, despite living in a time where human flight was not yet possible. Imagine yourself living in the Renaissance era and being fascinated by Leonardo da Vinci's sketches and notes about flying machines. He wrote about the idea of human flight 300 years before the Wright brothers' successful flight. His ideas were well ahead of his time, but they sparked the imagination of future generations and paved the way for the development of modern aviation. In a similar way, once you experience the power of ChatGPT's DaVinci language model, you'll understand why it's named after the great Renaissance master. With its advanced AI capabilities, it opens up new possibilities for you to communicate, create, and solve problems in ways that were once thought simply impossible. Just like the idea of human flight captured the imagination of people for centuries, using the DaVinci model through ChatGPT will leave you eager to return and continue exploring its capabilities. It's important to note that the prices for these models do vary, so be sure to check the pricing page on the OpenAI website for the most up-to-date information regarding pricing. Additionally, all of the models are priced based on tokens, which are a measure of the amount of computational resources required to generate text that ChatGPT provides. So, you might be wondering, what are tokens? And so tokenization is the process of breaking down a piece of text into smaller units called tokens. These tokens are then used by the language model to generate text. In this way, tokenization is a critical component of the language generation process. Welcome back. The Updates and Frequently Asked Questions section of ChatGPT is an important resource for staying informed about the latest developments with this service. This section includes information about new features, bug fixes, and known issues with ChatGPT. So let's start by taking a look at the Updates section, and I want to share my screen with you and walk you through this. And so now I'm in ChatGPT, and you'll notice down here towards the bottom left, there's a Updates and FAQ or FAQs section. You can click on that, and this takes you to an area of ChatGPT that has the latest information and release notes related to ChatGPT. You'll notice your information about their new release of ChatGPT Plus, and there will be other updates over time. And so at the time of this recording, these are the latest updates related to ChatGPT. And then as well, you'll notice or will want to dive next into this FAQ section. This will be frequently asked questions. And so the ChatGPT General FAQ or FAQs were frequently asked questions, and you'll find answers to questions that come up quite often, such as how does ChatGPT work? You can always reference the lesson that we covered on that as well. And then as well, how and why does ChatGPT, what it does, how does it work, etc. And so the ChatGPT FAQs area is very helpful as well. And so you can always go back and look at other release notes related to ChatGPT through history, and just bear in mind that this will update over time. And then once again, just kind of to go back to ChatGPT here. The Updates and FAQs section is down here below. Okay, so that is the Updates and FAQs section, and I hope you find it helpful. Be sure and check it out whenever you're able to, and it will help you to troubleshoot issues that you're experiencing and stay up to date with the latest from ChatGPT. Welcome back. In this video, we're going to be talking about the OpenAI Discord community. The OpenAI Discord community is a platform for connecting with other ChatGPT users and learning more about ChatGPT. This community is made up of users from all over the world who come together to share their experiences, ask questions, and help each other get the most out of their usage of ChatGPT. Joining the OpenAI Discord community is easy. You'll find an OpenAI Discord link at the bottom left of the ChatGPT interface. From there, you'll receive an invite in order to join the community and start connecting with other ChatGPT users. So what are the benefits of being a part of the OpenAI Discord community? There are many benefits to being a part of this community, including access to a network of ChatGPT users from all over the world, opportunities to ask questions and get help from other ChatGPT users, as well as access to resources and information about service opportunities to share your experiences and knowledge with others. In conclusion, the OpenAI Discord community is a valuable resource for anyone who wants to connect with other ChatGPT users and learn more about the service. We encourage you to join the community today and start taking advantage of all the benefits that it has to offer to you. Welcome back. ChatGPT is a powerful and versatile language model that can be used for a wide range of applications. In this course, we will be exploring some of the most popular use cases for ChatGPT, including effective communication, career advancement, and coding, among others. In the upcoming sections of this course, we will be diving into each of these use cases in more detail. We'll be providing hands-on demonstrations and step-by-step instructions to help you get started with using ChatGPT for your own projects. Now, here is a brief overview of what you can expect in the upcoming sections of this course. So next up is section 2, and that is using ChatGPT to communicate effectively. In this second section, we'll be exploring the use cases of ChatGPT for effective communication. We'll be discussing the various techniques and strategies for using ChatGPT to enhance your communication skills and make your messages clearer and more impactful. Next, in section 3, we'll be using ChatGPT to elevate your own career. In this section, we'll be exploring the use case of ChatGPT to advance your career. We'll be discussing the various techniques and strategies for using ChatGPT to enhance your professional skills and make yourself more valuable in the workplace. Welcome back. An essential skill for everyone is that of communication, and that is exactly what the second module of the course is all about. Using ChatGPT to communicate effectively. You'll find that the one near universal requirement across almost every job description is communication. And to be understood and to be truly heard is vital in life, whether on the job or in your interpersonal relationships. Frankly, your ability to communicate works as a type of governor to your full potential. Your ability to express yourself in written and spoken form is crucial to your own success. In this module, we're going to dive into how you can use ChatGPT to give you an almost immediate boost to your communication skills. While ChatGPT can write virtually anything for you, your ability to design effective prompts and improve them using the prompt wheel will elicit increasingly accurate and insightful responses from ChatGPT. And as always, you will want to review that which ChatGPT produces, never taking a response to your prompt at face value. It is your own logic and reasoning and human touch that is needed in leveraging tools such as ChatGPT to boost your own communication. It will be up to you to refine and hone those responses to make them truly your own, giving them your unique voice. Together we will explore using ChatGPT for communication in its various forms. And by the end of this section, you'll have a comprehensive understanding of how to use ChatGPT to communicate effectively. You'll be able to write emails, social media posts, and blog posts with these translate text, and you'll have a solid understanding of how to use ChatGPT to optimize your content for search as well. We will be covering a wide range of topics and applications for ChatGPT, and by the end of this section, you will have a comprehensive understanding of how to use ChatGPT to communicate effectively. Welcome back. There are a multitude of options when it comes to emails, and ChatGPT can help write clear and concise emails. So let's ask ChatGPT for a list of types of emails it can help us to write. Let me share my screen with you for this example. So here I am in ChatGPT and I'm going to put in the prompt to give me a list of 20 different types of emails that ChatGPT can help me write. And then I'll hit send or enter and wait for the response. We'll see if ChatGPT comes back with a list of 20. And depending on the load on ChatGPT may impact the speed of which it returns responses. Okay, and so we see here as well the title of that prompt or that chat in the history. And so now what we can do is we can do other follow-up prompts as well. So let's say for example, one of those types of emails that ChatGPT brought back would be a compromise email. So I'm gonna ask it to give me an example of a compromise email and it'll give me the wording of how that might appear. This could be a good starting point for you in writing your own emails here. And as well, it gives you the subject and the line for the recipient name placeholder for your intro. And then it will continue to generate a few paragraphs here, and then eventually it will sign you off with a placeholder as well in order to conclude your email. Oftentimes that can be the hardest way to complete an email, is to know how to appropriately end the message. Okay, so let's have a few more looks at what ChatGPT can do as far as doing a perhaps more complex prompt. Okay, so for this prompt I'm asking ChatGPT to give me an example of a newsletter email and to provide some fake data that could be represented inside of a table as well. And I'm also asking for roughly 5 rows and columns in this table as well. And so ChatGPT can produce Excel-like tables here. It does excel at that. Thank you very much. And so in the different column headers, you have titles here for product name and description, price, availability, and then a placeholder for an image link as well. And this would be an example of a newsletter email based on the prompt that I gave. And ChatGPT is being very verbose for us fortunately and giving us a lot of great examples in this particular email. So as you can tell, it really excels at handling more complex scenarios as well for these prompts. Now you may be wondering, can ChatGPT handle emojis? And it can actually do that as well. So it's still actually generating this newsletter email. I could decide if I'm ready to stop generating. I can always click that. But I think we're near the end. And we are best regards your name. And so now I will go and prompt another one. And this is to give an example welcome email complete with several emojis. So let me cue that up. And so here is an example email of ChatGPT, including emojis in it as well. And so now you can take your emails to the next level and use emojis as well. So as you can see, the possibilities are endless, and leveraging ChatGPT for helping you write emails will boost your productivity. So you can spend more time getting work done as opposed to struggling to find just the right words. Thanks to ChatGPT helping you to write your emails effectively on the job and in person in your life. So, and it's still going. Alright, so we'll see you in the next lesson. Welcome back. In this lesson, we'll be exploring the use of ChatGPT for ideation. If you're looking for new and creative ideas for your projects, ChatGPT can be your own personal idea machine. We will be providing hands-on demonstrations and step-by-step instructions to help you get started with using ChatGPT for ideation. You'll learn how to use ChatGPT to generate ideas for a variety of projects, from writing a blog post to developing a marketing campaign. By the end of this lesson, you will have a deeper understanding of how ChatGPT can be used for ideation, and you'll be able to start using it as your idea machine to generate new and creative ideas for your own personal projects. So we'll start by asking ChatGPT to generate ideas for a specific project. And let me share my screen and give you an example of a prompt that I might put into place in order to come up with some ideas for a marketing campaign. Alright, so I'm in the prompt here, and for my prompt I'm gonna enter in and ask ChatGPT to give me or generate 10 ideas for a new marketing campaign. We'll let that display a return from ChatGPT, and it may take a moment depending on the load of ChatGPT as always, and your own internet connection. And so there's several different options here that it provides, such as doing an influencer collaboration, product giveaway, referral program, virtual event, and more, such as user-generated content, interactive quiz, charity partnerships, influential partnerships, interactive product demo, and number 10 is a seasonal promotion. And so you may want to review and refine this list here and determine which of these has the most interest to you. Now for me, I'm going to do a follow-up prompt here, and I'm going to post in here my follow-up prompt. Can you provide me more details on the idea of hosting a virtual event? And I always like the positive attitude of ChatGPT. It answers with certainly, and so it's giving more ideas around that virtual event. And I like to refer to this as kind of like a deep dive on an individual topic once I've found one that I find interesting. And so from that deep dive, it's giving you ideas around the purpose and the platform and the content, the speakers, the promotion, the interactivity, and this is truly fascinating for me to watch unfold as far as giving you ideas. It's really a spark of creativity and a jump start for you here. And then it gives you a summation in the end, and it'll write the title of the chat in the history there. And so you can repeat this process of refining these ideas until you have a clear and well-defined concept. And always remember to provide clear and specific prompts, and to provide enough context so that ChatGPT can understand the situation. And try to keep your prompts concise and use proper grammar and punctuation as well. Welcome back. In this lesson, we will be discussing the use of ChatGPT to write social media posts. We'll be providing hands-on demonstrations and step-by-step instructions to help you get started with using ChatGPT for your own social media writing tasks. I'm just gonna start off by sharing my screen again and prompting ChatGPT for an idea of a LinkedIn post that I would like to share. And let's say, for example, that I've just come away from an industry event that I attended. In this example would be the Consumer Electronics Show or CES, and I am prompting specifically write a LinkedIn post about a recent industry event I attended. The event was CES and it was focused on consumer electronics, and I learned about AI. So there's a few things I'm doing here in this prompt, as I'm allowing ChatGPT to think about its response and generate it as well, is I am testing this to see if ChatGPT knows about the Consumer Electronics Show. So I'm just giving the acronym, also throwing in at the end that, oh, by the way, I learned about AI because I anticipate that that was probably the topic of that particular conference and will be in the near future. So the response is here now, and it's given me a post that you could post. For example, on LinkedIn, complete with hashtags as well, given the current year. So hashtag CES 2023, hashtag AI, and hashtag consumer electronics. And so I'll leave it to you to read the rest of that post, but I want to give you examples of other social media that you can do, such as for Facebook or Facebook posts. And so I'm gonna go back to my screen here and give another query. And so you could always follow up in the same chat. But here, in order to not confuse ChatGPT potentially or think that I'm still referring to this particular event, I'm gonna go ahead and click new chat. I still have my CES LinkedIn post in the history there on the left. But I'm gonna put into a new chat here to give me 10 title ideas for engaging Facebook posts and send that away. And this is more random in nature and not related to CES or LinkedIn, but this would be specific to Facebook. And I've left this very broad as far as the prompt goes. I could, I suppose, have some guidance further for Facebook as far as different areas or genres or interests, but I'm just kinda leaving it open-ended. And a lot of times this is a good way of getting ideas for social media. And I'm just gonna pick out a few here such as though, and these are title ideas for some of these posts, and you can always deep dive further in that. But so for example, behind the scenes of a specific industry or a company, or how to accomplish a goal in a certain time frame, also is giving you some really good titles here. So there's other ways that you can prompt ChatGPT for, and it also does very well with the different channels or social media networks, gearing it towards those specific audiences as well. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a new chat. And for here I'm going to ask ChatGPT to give me 10 topic ideas for engaging Twitter posts. And so you may notice a slight difference in tone here, and these are topics, not necessarily titles, and you may get different responses as well. So I always encourage you, as I'm demonstrating here on my screen, for you to follow along and see what is different in your own experience, because I could even reprompt ChatGPT and it may give me a list of 10 entirely different answers. So that's what's so fascinating about this, is that the idea generation is virtually endless. So here for Twitter posts we've got ideas around inspirational quotes and motivational sayings, all the way through sharing your favorite books or showcasing user-generated content such as testimonials, photos, etc. Alright, so I'm gonna go back to ChatGPT and one final prompt here. And here I'm going to very specifically stay in this particular chat, in my chat history, because I have a list of 10 here. And I'm gonna ask ChatGPT to write a tweet for me from number 7 on the list. I'm referring to that list that it just gave me. So this is behind the scenes look at your personal life. This should be interesting, allowing it to tweet on my behalf of behind the scenes look on my personal life. So apparently behind the scenes of my life, I'm making pancakes with my little ones and gearing up for a busy day ahead. Hashtag family time and hashtag weekend vibes. So that will give you some possibilities on what you may tweet. Even though the relevancy is not spying on what I'm doing, I'm not making pancakes. I'm teaching you about ChatGPT. And as you can see, the possibilities are endless for prompting ChatGPT to give you ideas for social media posts. And you're only limited by your own imagination. Welcome back. Alright, so in this lesson I'll be using ChatGPT to write an actual blog article for me. And so I'll share my screen here with you and show you what I'm going to prompt. So I've written here in the prompt here that I want ChatGPT to write an engaging and thought-provoking article based on this blog post title. And the title is the benefits of integrating ChatGPT into your workflow. So we're gonna let ChatGPT think about this for a moment, and then starting to come back with a response rather than being over capacity. And remember, you can always go to the playground, as we've mentioned previously, if you reach capacity, and approach it from that end. And you may see me do just that in the future in this course, depending on the performance of ChatGPT. And so the benefits of integrating ChatGPT into your workflow, and it's giving me an intro paragraph. And then as well a numbered list as far as some things you can do to integrate ChatGPT into your own personal workflow, such as increase productivity, that would be a benefit, and then a description of that. Second is improve customer service, and then gives an example of how ChatGPT is able to perform improved customer service. Enhance collaboration, and how ChatGPT can facilitate that, and as well access to real-time information. Now bearing in mind real-time, meaning real-time with your other systems, it gives an example of integrating with the CRM system and just keeping in mind the knowledge cutoff date of ChatGPT. But you are able to do integrations that can be pulling in real data from your CRM, such as Salesforce potentially. And then finally, cost savings. ChatGPT can help you reduce labor costs, etc. That'll be a debate for another day. Let's just stick to using ChatGPT, shall we? So now I want to give you an example of a more complex and fuller prompt or query, and let's see if ChatGPT can handle that as well. So I'm gonna return back to my screen, and here I'll go ahead and do a new chat. So it's to not mix the different topics here, and this will be a fresh and new chat, a clean slate here. And so I've prompted ChatGPT to write this. Actually, let me go back into my chat history. I want to actually write this from the perspective of a productivity consultant. So this information that ChatGPT gave me, I wanted to write it in a way that I am a productivity consultant, and I want ChatGPT to devote a paragraph to each to how ChatGPT can be used to integrate into the respective workflows for both marketing, sales, and service in business. So this is a more complex scenario and a follow-up prompt to my previous prompt. Okay, so let's see if ChatGPT can handle this and what it comes up with. So it opens up right off the bat, no beating around the bush here. As a productivity consultant, they got the hint. ChatGPT realized the scenario that I'm asking for and then referring to themselves. I am constantly looking for ways to help organizations improve their processes and increase efficiency. And so I'll leave it to you to read the rest of that article as it turns out here. It is a nice looking article filled with a lot of keyword rich text here. And I do encourage you to do the same in your own ChatGPT account. You can always generate a list of blog article titles and select one for further refinement using ChatGPT. Now in the next lesson we will use ChatGPT for SEO purposes so that search engines take notice of your article. Welcome back. Let's discuss the use of ChatGPT for optimizing your content for search engine optimization, or often known as SEO. We will pick up where we left off previously with our blog post, and I want to do another prompt here in my ChatGPT screen. So I'm in my chat history about my productivity consultant article here. And so I'm going to prompt asking ChatGPT to give me a list of tags to include for SEO purposes and also a good meta description for that article you just wrote for me. So I'm referring to the article right above in my ChatGPT interface. So I'm going to enter that prompt and wait for a reply. And perhaps ChatGPT is over capacity. So if it is, we would go to the playground. But now it is giving us the tag ideas that we could include with our blog article, and we would be targeting certain keywords here. And that would be ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, and all the way down the list here of these different tags ending with cost savings and productivity consultant. And then the meta description, that would be a description of the article that appears in search engines when it represents that in search results. And that would be to maximize productivity with ChatGPT integration into your workflow. And remember, this is about our article that was previously written. So it's remembering where we are in the context of that. And then the rest of that description is saying that this advanced language model from OpenAI can provide benefits in marketing, sales and service, improve customer experience, increase efficiency, and save costs with ChatGPT integration. So if you recall in a previous lesson, my prompt did ask for writing the article and how the impact would improve both marketing, sales, and service for a business. And so I want to do some follow-up prompts here as far as adding images into this article as well, or some ideas of some images and some alternative text for them as well, which is something that SEO or search engines look at and rank more highly if you have those in place as well. So let me put that in the prompt here. And so for my follow-up prompt, I am asking ChatGPT to give me 3 image ideas that I could insert into this article, as well as the alternative text for each of those images, or otherwise known as alt text. Not that I would have to use all of these, but this gives me ideas of images I could use. And so examples would be a person typing on a laptop while ChatGPT is displayed, and then as well an image of a team huddled around a computer screen. Third and final option is a happy customer interacting with ChatGPT through a customer service chatbot. Alright, and then as well, you'll notice below each of those 1, 2, 3 image descriptions is providing alternative text as well, or alt text as it's referred to often. So let's do one more prompt here, and this would be a rewrite prompt. And I'm going to ask ChatGPT to rewrite the previous blog article, and let me show you what I'm gonna prompt here. So back to my screen and back inside of the prompt. I'm asking ChatGPT to rewrite the previous article or blog article you wrote for me. Insert your recommended images as placeholders in the article along with the alt text for them. Also provide me with headers to sprinkle through my article, along with the title text for each of those headers as well. These are the infamous H1, H2 tags, etc. for SEO purposes, okay? And so we see here the title of this is the benefits of integrating ChatGPT into your workflow. And this gives you a blog-like appearance, and also there's the image placeholders and it appears as broken images. And then as well the alternative text. So this is pretty easy then to take this and put it into a blog article, and then it's a matter of finding those images. So just bear in mind as we allow for ChatGPT to complete the generation of our blog article here, that there's so much more you can do with ChatGPT to take your blog to the next level and raise its search rankings. And so now we have used ChatGPT to create a fair amount of content, as you can see, but could ChatGPT be used to write an entire book? Let's explore that possibility starting in the next lesson. Welcome back. Since ChatGPT can be your idol machine, it can do amazing things, such as creating a book outline for you. Here's an example prompt for a book I might write. Let's say I decided to create a book on the topic of using AI and ChatGPT specifically for career advancement. Let me share my screen, and I might prompt something along these lines. Alright, so in ChatGPT I put in the prompt here, and this is a pretty involved prompt. Give me a sample book outline of 10 to 12 chapter titles that might be found in a book about AI and ChatGPT for career advancement. The title of the book should be Employmentality, and also come up with a snappy subtitle. So let's see what ChatGPT comes up with. So it's giving several different chapter titles here. Chapter 1 is an intro, 2 is understanding the career landscape in the age of AI. That's a nice sounding title. I might actually read that one. Chapter 3 is building a strong foundation in AI and ChatGPT, and then on through the list. And it does give me a total of 12 chapters. And you notice as well the new chat and the history there giving the title. Now, rather than just copying my prompt about my Employmentality book idea, you can use ChatGPT to come up with your own ideas. Or perhaps you already have a book idea lurking inside of yourself. You can always prompt ChatGPT the details of your own book idea and see what it comes out with. Now, for those of you that don't have a book idea in mind, here's a prompt you can use to get a list of book ideas. Perhaps one of these will speak to you and capture your fancy. I'm gonna go back to my screen here, and I'm going to prompt ChatGPT to give me 10 book titles and subtitle examples. And these need to be fictional and not exist. Make each of these titles in a different genre and category. Now, note before I submit this that I am in the same thread of history here, but because I'm saying that these are all in different genres, hopefully it's clear to ChatGPT that I'm not doing a follow-up question or prompt. You could always do a new chat as well. But I'm gonna put ChatGPT to the test and see if it realizes that I'm not talking about the Employmentality book, but an entirely new list of ideas. So I'm submitting that and let's see what it comes up with. Alright, so it's taking a moment for that list to come about. And so we'll give it some time here. If it falters, we'll perhaps start a new chat or go into the API playground to round this out. And so, as we wait for that, I will go ahead and mention that you can always ask ChatGPT to give you a book outline for whichever title interests you, from whatever list is generated in your own instance. And do get hands-on and follow along and get your own book outline with a list of chapters from ChatGPT, so you can dive deeper with me into a chapter. Now, in the next lesson, we will turn the page and we'll dive deeper into one of those chapter responses. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and start a new chat and try that again. I'm gonna just click new chat here. Perhaps it got confused as to the context. We'll give it one more shot here. I believe in second chances, even for AI. Alright, so let's see if we struggle to come up with a response here. And here we go. So, when in doubt, start a new chat. Don't mix topics in your chat history. Lesson learned. Alright, so it's saying in the positive. Sure, here are 10 fictional book titles and subtitles in different genres. And so here you can have a list of titles and the genres as well. So you can always generate lists and pick out what interests you. And then in the next lesson, as I mentioned, we'll be diving deeper into picking one of these chapters and diving deeper and starting to outline that chapter. We'll see in the next lesson. Welcome to the ChatGPT communication techniques for audio, video, and text. In this module, we will take ChatGPT's text generation abilities to the next level. We will use ChatGPT to write a chapter of a book. We will also cover the repurposing of communication content for audio, video, and text. You'll find real-world scenarios of using ChatGPT to write YouTube scripts for you, as well as how to leverage ChatGPT to improve your search ranking and visibility. We will also repurpose our video scripts for audio form by way of podcast episode ideas, scripts, interview questions, and much more. And finally, we will round things out by showing you how to go global by using ChatGPT to translate all of your communication content. So let's continue elevating your communication techniques with ChatGPT starting in the next lesson. Welcome back. From the previous lesson, I leveraged ChatGPT to give several chapter ideas and book idea titles, and hopefully you've done likewise and have a list of book ideas for yourself. Now, I've identified a chapter from a list of chapters from that list that I want to explore further. I do encourage you to identify your own chapter that you wish to dive deeper in, and the next step is asking ChatGPT to give you an outline for that chapter. So I'm going to share my screen, and on my screen here I have a list and we're picking back up where we left off. This would be the 10 fictional book titles and sub-titles and different genres, and I elected to have ChatGPT give me a sample book outline of 5 chapter titles that might be found in book number 10. Alright, so that's an example of ChatGPT remembering the context and the list that generated, and it gave me an outline of those 5 chapters with chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and there's some sub-bullet points here as well with what that chapter is trying to accomplish. And so the beauty of leveraging AI is that it speeds up the development process and gives you a launching point rather than just starting with a blank canvas. And this gives you ideas to explore and move around and revise until you find that which makes sense and resonates with you. So now you can take this outline of this, in essence table of contents, and make further edits. And you can as well feed this back into ChatGPT after those edits, in essence to train ChatGPT on this model of your book outline. They'll keep that in mind moving forward in the conversation. Now, once you have that table of contents nailed down, you can start having ChatGPT write this paragraph for you. So for example, I'm gonna do a follow-up prompt in my screen here asking ChatGPT to write the paragraphs for chapter 5 based on that outline that you wrote. And so that would be chapter 5 of this children's book, and it's called The Farewell and the Promise. And so here is ChatGPT's attempt to actually write this chapter for me. And then once we have that response, we're going to further round that out as well. And so it's answering the affirmative, and fortunately we're not exceeding the limits or the prompts per hour, any sort of overcapacity. And so here is ChatGPT writing a first draft of this book chapter. Okay, and this story is about characters named Timmy and Max. And it's continuing on. It's gonna give us several different chapters here. Alright, so some things you can do here with this particular chapter that's being written is you can ask ChatGPT for illustration ideas that could be included for a specific paragraph. You can also ask ChatGPT to provide you with an analogy or famous quote to help get your point across or reinforce what is being conveyed with a specific chapter or block of text. So let me go back to my screen here and give a follow-up prompt. And so I'm asking ChatGPT. I'll ask it to do an analogy or a famous quote to reinforce the concept behind the first paragraph of the story. And so it's providing me with the quote to reinforce the last paragraph of the story. And so here's a quote from the infamous Unknown. You see that person referenced everywhere it seems. Friendship is not about whom you have known the longest. It's about who walked into your life, said, "I'm here for you," and proved it. And then as well, an explanation as to what significance that quote plays. And so let me go back to my slides here, and please bear in mind that it is up to you to further and refine the output and not just simply copy and paste. Don't let the machines win. They're here to serve you. And you can repeat this process for each line item of your chapter outline to go deeper into each topic. Okay, and then as well, you can take it through a few further waves and revisions and enhancements both online and offline. and this will find you with something significant, a book. And this is a great way to communicate in written form. And now we're going to pivot towards other communication forms such as audible and visual communication. What better place to do that than on YouTube? Welcome back. Much like how we leveraged the idea engine of ChatGPT for book ideas, let's now prompt it for YouTube video ideas. And now I'll share my screen with you. And so for this first prompt, I'm going to ask ChatGPT to give me 10 ideas for engaging YouTube videos. These can be from a variety of topics and genres. So let's see what list we come up with here. And so here are 10 ideas for engaging YouTube videos. And it starts off with the list. A day in the life vlog series followed by a cooking show to demonstrate how to prepare a variety of dishes. And then third is a beauty and makeup tutorial series. I'm probably not the best candidate for that. Fourth will be a travel series where you visit new destinations. Fifth will be a DIY home improvement series. Sixth is a tech review. Seventh, fitness and workout series, and then continuing on. Starting to think about it a little bit, but we're continuing on. And ChatGPT is performing like a champ today, I might add. A Q&A series. Number 9 is a music cover series. And 10 is a comedy sketch series where it can showcase your sense of humor and create comedic sketches that are sure to entertain your audience. Okay, so I am going to ask a follow-up here in the prompt. And here I'll ask ChatGPT to write a script for video number 10. This will be a comedy sketch series. And this is just to give you an idea. So as we let ChatGPT think about that a little bit, it's even giving you an idea for intro music and some video cuts as well, and then as well the script for you to actually say. So let's return to our slides here. We want to keep in mind that YouTube is a visual medium. You could just sit on camera and read out that script, but it's always a good idea to perhaps include slides, stock video footage, animations, and other visual devices to make your message more engaging. So here's a follow-up prompt you can use to get help with potential videos to insert into your script and other assets as well. So let's return back to my screen once it finishes generating, which it looks like it just did. I'm gonna put another prompt in my screen. And if you ask any good screenwriter or less than good screenwriter, there will be always rewrites requested. So I'm gonna ask for a rewrite from ChatGPT, asking it to rewrite that script to include a list of slides and bullet points that I could include for each of the steps in this script, and provide a note for a potential stock video I could insert during each of the points as far as what those clips could include as well. And so it's giving a revision here for how that could be rewritten, and some ideas on some stock footage that we can include as well as slides. And so some of the list here are the different slide references, and then as well some notes about B-roll footage and the setting of props and costumes etc. for your comedy skit. And bear in mind that yours will be different depending on what you select and work through. Slide 2, introduction of characters, etc. So we'll just let ChatGPT finish there, and let's return back to our slides here. And so now that we have your YouTube script, let's use ChatGPT to write your video title, description, and more in the next lesson. Welcome back. So now that we have a YouTube script, we can leverage the prowess of ChatGPT to create a title description and tags for our video. So I'm gonna give you an example prompt you can leverage to help your own YouTube videos get seen. So I'm gonna return back to my screen, and here in the prompt, I am going to follow up with my previous YouTube script and ask ChatGPT to create an attention-grabbing title for this YouTube video and write the video description, and also provide several tags that would be good for this video on YouTube based on keyword research to target a wide audience. And so I'm gonna let ChatGPT think about that, and we may need to go to the playground depending on the load here. And so here's a title, description and tags. And so remember, this is for a comedy sketch. The title is Laugh Out Loud with Comedy Corner Episode 1 and then the description. And then as well tags and including my name as well, or your name I should say, if you have a comedy sketch you want to brand yourself. It's keeping that in mind as well, so it's given us a lot of tags here. I believe you could actually copy and paste these into YouTube in the tags area and we just populate that all for you. Alright, so let me return back to my slides here and just really convey and kind of harness your imagination as far as the power of this process, especially once you have created this video and published it to YouTube. You can further repurpose this content and marry both written, audio and visual communication by doing a follow-up blog post on your website where you also could embed this video in an article as well. This gives you another channel of outreach and provides more valuable content for your audience. And more content means a growing list of keywords you may rank for in search. Whether that search is happening in a search engine such as Bing, which just recently introduced ChatGPT to the interface, as well as YouTube. For example, I could prompt something like this by going back to my screen. And so this is quite a complex prompt here and we'll see how ChatGPT handles this. But I'll go ahead and get it started processing while I read the prompt, and it's responding very quickly. I plan to embed this YouTube video into a blog article on my website that I want you to write for me. Give me the article title and keywords for the blog article. Also provide me with the meta description for this blog article and note in the article where I should embed the video. After the final paragraph, add a video transcript section and then display the video script transcript that you wrote for me previously. And so here is the article, followed by a list of keywords, comma separated, the meta description for that, and then as well intro to the blog article and the paragraphs there. It also tells you where to embed your actual YouTube video, and then it references that, and then the conclusion, and then finally the video transcript. And it's just a placeholder, it's not representing that again. But it's a placeholder from what we did previously earlier in this chat history, which you could scroll back up to find that, okay? So now coming back to my slides here, I want to just prepare you for what happens next, and that my hope is that you are getting inspired to create. What will you create today that you can repurpose tomorrow with ChatGPT? So let's continue exploring the repurposing of our content for various distribution channels. We will next discuss using ChatGPT to write podcast scripts. Welcome back. We have previously done a lot of content creation around creating book chapters and YouTube video scripts. Let's next repurpose this content and build our own previous chat with ChatGPT to create a podcast episode covering the same topic that we did before. Be sure to follow along in your own ChatGPT account, leveraging a topic that interests you. And so for demonstration purposes, I'm going to revisit my topic I've been demonstrating previously, and will let ChatGPT help me call an audible by creating a podcast script to round out the fuller content payload for distribution. So here's a prompt idea which I'll do on my screen if you'll join me. And I'm in, and this is long, so I'll try and summarize this for you. I'll go ahead and submit it as well cause it may take a moment. But I'm asking ChatGPT to rewrite this YouTube script as a podcast episode instead. And please instruct my listeners to visit the episode notes for a link to the accompanying video you previously scripted for me. For the steps from the previous YouTube script, I want to ask an expert a good question about each of these steps. Give me a list of questions to ask for each of the steps that I can use in the podcast episode at the appropriate time. And so here's the response for that script for this to be converted into a podcast. And so there's a welcome, and then I'm welcoming an expert. And then the different steps that have been highlighted. Step 1 was come up with a concept. And so we've got the question presented here as far as how I would represent this question to the expert, and then how the expert might answer step 2. And it gives you an example that you can ask an expert to speak on. So then it just is up to you to find those experts to put in your podcast episode. Step 3, cast your actors. And so I'll just read that particular question. Once you have a script, how do you go about casting the actors? and so on. Step 4, rehearse and make changes. Step 5, film the skit, and then we just continue on from there. Alright, so I'm gonna leave it to you to read that as you can, or to just read your own script depending on what your own topic is. And let me return back to my slides here. And so just realize the power of this, that now all you have to do is record your podcast episode, and in the next lesson we will use ChatGPT to write a good episode description for that podcast. Welcome back. A good set of podcast episode notes should be clear, concise, and easy to read. They should also include key takeaways from the episode, links to resources mentioned, and any other relevant information that would be useful for your listeners. Now let's see how ChatGPT can help you write effective podcast episode notes. To do this, we'll provide you with a sample prompt to show you how to use ChatGPT to generate your own podcast episode notes. So be sure you are in your correct chat from your history sidebar that previously you used to create your podcast script in. That way ChatGPT can understand the context and pick up where you left off to build your podcast show notes from there. Alright, so I'm gonna share my screen here and show you what I'm talking about, and I'll give you a sample prompt. Now we previously had our script here, and during the generation of that and towards the end of the previous lesson, it did stop generating, and I did encourage ChatGPT to keep going. Sometimes it needs encouragement to pick back up where it left off, actually. And I wanted to have the full episode there for me so that I can draw the notes from and not have it be truncated, basically. So now that I've got my full script here, and you can tell that there was much more in the continuation of that with the chat thread there, which I accessed from my history here. And so in the prompt I'm going to put in here too. Please write an engaging show notes post for me that details what my listeners can expect to hear in this episode. Okay, let me go ahead and generate that, and let's see what we get from ChatGPT. So it's too many requests in 1 hour. Try again later. So here's a great possibility or opportunity for me to go into the playground and demonstrate this. Now, one word of warning or note is that in the playground, it will not have the history of all of this. And so I'm going to copy this to feed this into the model in the playground, and then we'll request the show notes from there. So I'm gonna just copy all of this. And bear with me here for one moment. Talk amongst yourselves while I copy and paste, and I will remove, or I'll try to remember to remove, the keep going prompt that I interspersed there. And then I need to go to the playground. And that's at platform.openai.com/playground. And so I'm going to give a prompt here, and I'm going to go ahead and paste all this in here. And I've cut out the keep going there. And so this is the script. And so at the top, I'm going to give my prompt. Go back into ChatGPT and copy this. And so, in this prompt, please write an engaging show notes post for me that details what my listeners can expect to hear in the podcast episode below. Let me go ahead and submit that, and let's see how the playground handles this. And I'm just going to verify I'm using the DaVinci model and the default temperature setting there. And then the maximum length, I'm going to spend a little money for this query here and set that to 12, well, hang on, not tokens. Let's just keep that at a more sane amount and click submit. Okay, so dead in there. Alright. Let's go back into ChatGPT and let me try one more time. Let me go ahead and refresh my browser. And then I'm going to go into my podcast script. So we have that in the history. And then let me put the prompt in there again and let's hope for the best. Okay, so we are off to the races now. So this is writing engaging show notes post for me that details what my listeners can expect to hear in this episode. And so this is an example of a podcast notes for your episode, and I'll let that just kind of continue generating. And as you can tell, ChatGPT is under a significant load right now, which we've come to expect, and perhaps in the playground I gave it too much to work with there from the very beginning. So it's always ideal to have your history there. And we've got a network error at this point, but we got some of it. So let's go back to our slide deck now, and this may be a good use case in the future for considering ChatGPT Plus. That gives you less downtime and higher availability, and it's a subscription model by ChatGPT. And so you can always consider that as well, and we'd be able to work around that. But back to the slides, let's just round this up by saying that using ChatGPT to write your podcast episode notes can save you time and effort while still providing your listeners with valuable information. And so now that we've explored the possibilities of communication by way of text, video and audio, let's next look at what I like to call unleashing the lion of localization in the next lesson. Welcome back. So now let's explore the power of language translation and how ChatGPT can help you reach a global audience. In the world of software and digital content, translation is often referred to as localization or L10 or L10 and even. And the ability to translate your content into multiple languages opens up a wealth of opportunities for you to reach new audiences and expand your reach. ChatGPT's advanced language models have the capability to translate text accurately and quickly, making it an essential tool for anyone looking to expand their business or reach a global audience. To demonstrate the power of ChatGPT for language translation, we'll be translating one of the most famous speeches in American history, the Gettysburg Address, into French, German, Italian, Spanish, and simplified Chinese. So I'm gonna return to my screen, and you will first need the text of the Gettysburg Address, which fortunately ChatGPT can provide for you. So I'm gonna put this in the prompt, asking ChatGPT to give me the text of the Gettysburg Address, and click send. And so it's given me the text, returning it, and what we're going to do in order to lighten the load on ChatGPT, cause it's under extreme amount of load right now, is that we're just going to do a follow-up prompt and just use this first opening paragraph. Okay, so while it's generating, what I want to do is I want to translate that first paragraph, and someone go ahead and copy this. And rather than waiting for it to finish generating the rest of the Gettysburg Address, I'm just gonna click stop generating, and I'm going to ask ChatGPT to translate that first opening paragraph into French, and then enter for the prompt. And so now this has given me the French translation for the opening paragraph for the Gettysburg Address. Alright, so now next what we want to try to do is we want to try to see if we can translate this same paragraph into multiple languages at the same time. So I mentioned previously, we're going to do several different languages, so I want ChatGPT to translate this same opening paragraph also into Italian, German, Spanish, and simplified Chinese, okay? So let me put that prompt in my screen here. And so I've asked ChatGPT to translate this paragraph into Italian, German, Spanish, and simplified Chinese. Now I went ahead and quoted that again. I probably would have figured out what I was referring to if I failed to include that opening paragraph, but now it's generating all of that in Italian, German, and Spanish, and then finally simplified Chinese, as long as it doesn't hit any sort of limits or load limits that it might experience. So as it's currently generating the Spanish as well, you'll find that the beauty of ChatGPT is that it can also translate passages from one language into another. And so what we can do is we can take this translated text and see if it can translate it back into English. So let's see if it gets lost or not in the translation. And so I'm gonna copy this as it's finishing the simplified Chinese here. So I'm gonna copy this text and ask it on my screen to translate this back into English, okay? I'm just gonna say translate this to English. And so now we have hit too many requests in 1 hour, so I'm going to copy this into the playground. And we've been hitting this kind of intermittently, as you've seen for previous things, and I'm in the playground. I've got the Gettysburg Address here, but let me go ahead and close that out. And then instead, let me paste this request into the playground as far as translate these to English. And so I've got the Italian, the German, the Spanish, and the simplified Chinese. I could go in and grab the French as well, but for the sake of time, I'm just gonna include the final 4 that we had previously and click submit. And so now this gives us in English the translation, and I was anticipating it giving an Italian, a German, a Spanish, and a simplified Chinese, but it is, I guess, recognizing that this is the opening paragraph of the Gettysburg Address. So whether that's just a one-for-one translation, or if it's using its machine learning model in order to identify that this is giving it appears to be the correct response, okay? So with that said, let's return back to our slides here. And we'll round this out, and we're actually coming to the end of this section of the course. And the next section will be where we're talking about elevating your career. So it's important to keep in mind that regardless of your target language, you can now get your message across thanks to ChatGPT. We've explored the depths of content creation in its various forms in this module, and as we draw this module to a close, I look forward to the next course where we learn how to elevate your career with ChatGPT. I'll see you there.
Congratulations on completing the course. I want to thank you for investing your time with me to learn ChatGPT. Now you can use ChatGPT, the fastest growing platform in history, to enhance virtually every area of your personal and professional life. You can also check out my practical ChatGPT course, where I solve multiple real-life projects using ChatGPT. And be sure to watch for more upcoming courses on ChatGPT.